Here's superficial internet, baby. You can have a little bit of that. Maybe. You can stare at some of this shit because you need some of that, right? I'm sure you do. I'm cataloging something right now having to do with how you and I function. The purpose behind this message, if you see it, and you should probably encourage others to watch this. However, most of you probably aren't doing the right thing when it comes to things like this, which would explain the view counts. Usually, I see 1, maybe 2 views, maybe 2. Most of you think that's peace because you're fucking retards. There's no reason to be nice to people who are dumb and fucking everything up. Just to be clear. You wouldn't be nice either if you were bright. You wouldn't be. Just because you were trained to fall into line, march in lockstep, wear your horse blinders, not shake the boat, and only shop around polarizing positive vibes propaganda. It's almost like you're being, made to be subservient because you are. Here's the point. I've been typing up a section in one of the numerous aspects of this giant book that I've been writing. And when I first knocked out a superficial Google search, which led somewhere, and I was surprised, I took screenshots. What I'm urging people to do, let me see, how did I word it? Is this it here? I think. For both our sakes, I'm thankful I bank on proactive measures. Perhaps you should model your behavior after mine. After all, we are being manipulated. In other words, I took screenshots. Because between traveling across Portland, Oregon to my home, the results that were sitting on my phone changed. I didn't search anything. I didn't change them. They changed in between me traveling across town. That is a huge fucking red flag. I shouldn't have to say that, but it's a huge fucking red flag. Same keywords were sitting in there. I didn't punch them in twice. I kept the results the entire time because I was hoping they would just sit in there. But I took screenshots just in case they might not. Now, here's the big thing. Anything that's connected to Wi-Fi, anything that's part of a digital medium can be altered. So if this is happening in real time in search results, what are the odds of anything you and I produce on our home appliances, which you and I don't own? You and I would like to think that we do. But you and I are somebody else's fucking puppets. You and I put bread on somebody else's table. So I would not be surprised if something is changed, if something differs from what you might say, you type into a Word document, which, for what it's worth, truly creeps me out because I write books. And that really creeps me out, but I could see it happening down the line. And the not so distant, what most idiots would probably assume is the future. No, really. Just typing this up and comparing and contrasting it against, and keep in mind, it changed more than once. It changed a total of 4 times. And the results kept getting worse and worse and worse. In other words, what originally was knocked out, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because you guys aren't deserving of any of this, and I guarantee it. You're not. You might assume that you are, you might believe that you are, you might wish that you are. And what have I told you about what my grandfather used to say? You can want with one hand and take a shit in the other and see which one gets filled first. If you guys start pulling your heads out of your ass, and I do mean you actively set out on this adventure, so that you're not a worthless fucking piece of shit. You're not a bag of meat. You're not a hapless retard in the wild, fucking things up. I will treat you with respect. This is not how I will teach. This is not how I will speak to you, is what I should say. And I will teach you things. Because, in turn, you wouldn't be a moron and you could teach me things. You wouldn't be part of the problem, which means I'm no longer concerned with trying to help you pull your head out of your ass, you're on the level. I've had a few people who have knocked out aspects and or answered test questions. That doesn't mean you're on the level. Doesn't mean you get it. There are so many things working against the people right now, and people do not understand this because most people are fucking stupid. They're functionally retarded. What I'm highlighting right here, and part of what I was cataloging tonight, these are things that are only going to get worse as time goes by. That's if I ever get to print this, and if any printing company ever does choose to publish this. That's a whole nother ball of wax. People don't understand just how far gone things are, but more importantly, how they're contributing to the fact that things are fucking horrible more than ever before on this rock. They're spoon-fed all this propaganda, and they assume that's not lies, controversy, propaganda, misleading, corrupted bullshit. Adult fairy tales for retards. They assume it's knowledge. They think they're woke, they're enlightened, they're these golden rays of fucking, bullshit. Because they will repeat anything they're spoon-fed. Because they're malleable. They're gullible. They're retards. And most of you are. You have to hear this, just like I had to think about this in order for me to pull my head out of my ass. Now keep in mind, nobody told me what I'm telling you today. That's why I'm really frustrated with most of you. Is I did this on my own. I've been barking at people for about 13 years. And I don't know anybody who's taken the initiative to truly rise to the occasion so that you're on the level with me. I don't know anybody. Not one.